Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Lena, for having us here. It's a great pleasure to meet all of you. My name is Meg Nömgård, and I'm the director of the Land of Legends that is inscribed on this register of good safeguarding practice that you have just spoken about. There we go. I was given the title The Boost from UNESCO. What happens after you have been inscribed? And it has only been 11 months since we were inscribed, but I will try to give you our point of view, what has happened. But before that, I will just tell you a short background to my organization and what we are working with. And also I'd like to show you where we are based in the southern part of Sweden. The Land of Legends consists of 3 municipalities called Alvesta, Älmhult, and Ljungby municipalities. And if any one of you know the author, Astrid Lindgren, who has written Pippi Longstocking, or maybe you have read her books or seen the movies, then you have seen the landscape where I live, because she was just born outside, very close to the Land of Legends. Otherwise, this area is, except for stories, famous for it's the home of IKEA. We have lots of furniture. The founder of IKEA was born here, and the very first IKEA store was built in the Land of Legends. So that's also where I grew up, basically. So that's where I am. This is a short, an organization showing how we are organized. At the very top, you see the name of our NGO, called the Storytelling Network of Kronoberg. That is a NGO, and we have a board. And the NGO runs this organization called the Land of Legends, and there is where you find the staff, like me. And we have 3 main legs. We have the Storytelling Festival, that is yearly since 1990. We celebrate this year our 30th festival, and it's the oldest yearly in the Nordic countries when it comes to storytelling festivals. It's international, national, local. We have performances, lectures, workshops, tours, and other ICH we always highlight. We often highlight minorities, and we hand out a storytelling prize. Maybe not so many zeros as there are in the Nobel Prize, but still I consider this to be one of the nicest prizes we have in Sweden, of course. And then we work in the landscape a lot, because the legends are connected to places. And most of you, I'm sure, are used to walk in the forest or in the woods, and you will come to see some kind of stones. And next to the stones, there is a sign, and it says, this is not any kind of stones. They have been here since the Bronze Age, and you get the information about the ritual of burying people during the Bronze Age or so forth. You have all seen those kind of signs. However, the legends don't leave stones behind. So we have put up 41 cabinets out in the landscape. So you're walking around, come to a cabinet, you open the cabinet, and there is the legend written down in English, Swedish, and German. And there is a picture of that illustrating the legend as well. So we have marked the legendary places in the landscape by cabinets, but also by geocaching. Geocaching, for those who don't know, is treasure hunt with GPS. And when you come to the spot, you will find a box, and the treasure in our case is, of course, a story. We have apps that you can follow around in the landscape and listen to stories, and we do performances as well in the landscape, mainly in the summer we prefer, but though we do it in the winter as well. And these places are in these 3 municipalities of Ljungby, Alvesta, and Älmhult. The historical reason why these 3 municipalities are chosen is because of these 3 municipalities holds the best archive record of Swedish folk tales and legends that we have in Sweden. And then we have a museum that was opened the 1st of April 1999. And so we celebrated 20 years this year. We do tourist performances there, of course. We have educational activities. We have educational activities from those from 3 months right up to those with dementia. We host 2 university courses, have international cooperations, projects of all different kinds. For instance, integrations. We do exhibitions. We have published around 30 books during the years. We go into old age homes, courses in transmitting, and we also add new stories all the time. So we are really active in culture, tourism, education, health, and social care and business. So we're using storytelling as a tool, but the aim and the goal can be different depending on where we're working, in which of these fields. And of course, the goal working with a 3-year-old or a 3-month-old baby or those with dementia is quite different. But we're using storytelling anyway. And this is our method. And this is the method we got inscribed on to the register. Not knowing exactly what the evaluation body said, Eivind, but maybe you said one of the reasons why we got inscribed is because this is a model. You don't have to do it all. You don't have to do it from A to the last letter of the alphabet. You can pick and choose. This is like a smorgasbord. Choose what you like. What dishes do you prefer? Is it meatballs or, salmon? And it can be applied not only for storytelling, but also for other kind of ICH. And we have not had millions and millions working with this method. So it has really been on community level that this model has been explored and set up. But we have not done it alone, of course. We have been doing this for 30 years together. And there has been many people coming and going and taking different kind of parts during the years. And this is really our strength, I think, that we have cooperated with so many different people on different levels and still are doing. They have been really crucial for us during the years. So, this is the short background of our organization. Then, a very particular friend came along, not just those you saw on the other side of slide. And it was the Convention for the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage. We were very pleased when the convention came, 2003, because we felt, wow, this is what we already have been doing for 20 years. Finally, there is a convention as well talking about it. Then it took some years before Sweden ratified. Sweden ratified in 2011. And as we heard yesterday, the Institute for Language and Folklore set up a Nord system where they involved NGOs, and we became a part of the Swedish national implementation work in that. 2014, we got accredited by UNESCO as an NGO. 2014 and 2015, we attended a instructor course, UNESCO instructor course in Trondheim in Norway. And maybe that's the reason why we are here today, because that's really when the Nordic cooperation started. We met there, and we all said we want to have a closer Nordic relationship amongst us when it comes to this convention. And we carried on, and I think actually this conference is a result of that. So I'm very pleased to see this result. And then 2015, we got on the Swedish National List or Inventory. 2016, we got Swedish UNESCO Prize. And 2016-17, we set up this project with Nordic safeguarding practice that Eivind also was talking about, working with that. And 2017, the Swedish government nominated the Land of Legends to this register. Sweden, as we heard yesterday, was or has been very restrictive to put anything forward to the lists. However, Sweden was interested of having something to this register because they consider that to be one of the most important parts of the convention, in that sense that we want to share good examples. And last year at the committee meeting we had to go to Mauritius, hard work. Well, actually, there also I became a member of the board of the ICH NGO Forum. I'm the representative of Western Europe and North America you know, this part that has too many, or not maybe too many, but has the most accredited NGOs as well. But also at this committee meeting, we got inscribed on the Register of Good Safeguarding Practice. And as Eivind said, there are 20 on the register, and we are one of those. And we are the only one that just focus sort of on, mainly on storytelling. So, what happened? Well, along the way, we have noticed, because we have worked so much with regional, state, and municipality, we have seen they taking much more interest in ICH. They have prioritized it, and they have prioritized it by that region and the municipality has ICH and us inscribed in the culture plan. We are prioritized in our Brussels office for the second year now. And our municipality held a parliamentary group where they were discussing how they want to develop the municipality for the next 20 years. And they chose 3 prioritized focus areas. The first is water. Ljungby municipality gives water to over 1 million Swedes, so water is really important. The second is young adults. They want to attract young adults to move to the municipality, of course. And the third is oral storytelling, ICH, which I think is quite marvelous that the municipality chose to have ICH as one of their 3 main prioritized focus area. Our network has broadened, of course, along this way, working with the convention, with all the Nordic corporations we have done. We have had ministers coming to see us. We have much closer contacts today with authorities on Ministry of Culture, the Swedish National Commission of UNESCO, and the Institute for Language and Folklore, and the Nordic Workshop network has grown enormously during these years for us. We had a broad Nordic network when it came to oral storytelling, but today we have much broader when it comes to the whole of ICH. And afterwards, now then, well, we also had international contacts, of course, before, but it has again taken to a new level with ICH. We get many, many, many requests. It's maybe not every day, but I would say every week I receive an email from somewhere in the world that they are asking us about our work. So we are writing lots and lots of emails and having Skype meetings with people who want to meet up. We have had over 20 different international colleagues, guests this year coming to see us, and we have also been abroad a lot this year. So far, 19 journeys abroad, and we have still a few to go. And we have had many study visits, both nationally and internationally, coming to see us. So it has really been a change that we have noticed since we got inscribed. How do we handle it, and what are we doing? Well, we have a 3-year project right now to work with this, and it's called Kronoberg is the region where I live, develops an international arena for oral storytelling. And it's the state, the region, and the municipality that are behind this project. And we are just now finishing a pre-study for an International Institute for Oral Storytelling that will focus on research and education. And the reason for this is there were so many requests for us. People were expecting so much from us, and there were like plenty of balls going around, and I was wondering which one should I catch. And in the end we said, okay, what does UNESCO really stand for? It stands for education, science, communication, and culture. Culture, well, that's really where we're working at the moment. We are working with education as well, but we was still thinking that we need to be stronger with science and education, and that's how we came up with this International Institute idea. So hopefully we will launch that next year, if we receive the money. Money is a question, because what has happened with all the requests, people wanting to come, people wanting us to answer, We are doing lots of representation for Sweden nowadays. When I go abroad, I often go to embassies. I speak to them, I speak to ministers, and so forth. And we are an NGO, and we are not the biggest NGO there is in the world, and we have limit of resources. So it has been great fun, but it has been time-consuming. And it's not just we need money, but it's also we notice that depending on who we're working with, if we will have an international study visit, for instance, Sweden is a country with quite high salaries if you compare to other parts of the world, and we want to work with all countries, really. And those who come from NGOs from another country that might not have as much money as Sweden does, have problems, of course, to pay. And how do we handle that? How do I work with a 19-year-old in Kyrgyzstan who wants to save her oral storytelling that her father and grandfather used to do, but her grandfather just died and her father is sick, and she wants to come to see and she wants to learn. She doesn't have any money. Who is going to pay? I? Well, I would love to, but can I? Maybe for her. Can I do it for the next one and the following and so forth? So it's a challenge. It really is. Where to draw the line? Who can you invite? Who can you not? Where do you find the project? We have so many different kinds of project runnings. And that itself, we all know, is time-consuming to write this application. So this is a tough issue, actually. Will we live happily ever after with the UNESCO Convention? I got a question from someone who said, but Meg, you know, now you have achieved this. You're finished, aren't you? What, you know? And I said, no. This is now when it starts. Now the hard work starts. And it starts also because someone also said, the same person said, give me a picture. Give me a picture. Give me an idea what it feels like to be on the register, to have this interesting international contacts now. And I said, you know, we have had over 20 international guests this year. It's great, but it's like having small children again. Everyone who remembers having small children, it's time-consuming, right? And especially when the kids want to sleep in your bed. You never get a proper sleep. So at the moment, it feels like we have babies in our bed at the office. No one wakes up with a good night's sleep. And we have like 20 of them in there. So it's a challenge, how to handle it all. And I think because we are only 20 on the register, we don't really know the facts in advance, what will happen. If we would have been on the 72 convention, there are so much research done. We would have known so much more in advance. And we are the first in Sweden that has been inscribed. We don't really have anyone to phone and ask in that sense. And when I look at the other ones at the register, I can see it's quite different what has happened afterwards. Some, well, business as usual, and some has more like a bit similar experience that we do. I think it really has to do what you do. And also how much you have done beforehand, how much contacts you have done, how much you have spoken to the state, the region, the municipalities and so forth, and the communities that you are engaged with. So it has been great, but there is definitely challenges here, how to handle it. And our aim is, of course, to do it as well as we possibly can. So I hope our relationship stays with a big Moomin hug with the UNESCO Convention. Okay, thank you ever so much.